one image people find useful for thinking about what changed inside LGBT politics is the drastic shift from sort of the late 1960s moment of the Stonewall uprising, of the riot at Compton's cafeteria, where queer and trans people who are targeted by police are fighting back explicitly, like rioting back against the police who constantly are attacking and victimizing them. And how that was really plugged into like a broader set of movements around the country where people were identifying police violence and were articulating politics of self-defense against police violence. There's kind of a pretty drastic shift that happens to wind us up in the 1990s and today, where we see this huge demand for hate crimes laws, for LGBT people to be included in hate crimes laws, and this big win in 2009 when LGBT people were included in the Federal Hate Crimes Act. So these are laws that enhance the punishment that people get through the criminal punishment system if they attack us based on sexual orientation or gender identity. And the idea that what we should be doing is putting more tools in the toolbox of police and prosecutors, and the Federal Hate Crimes Law also gives, large amounts of money to local law enforcement, which queer and trans people, right, in the late 60s are identifying as a major source of violence in our communities, right? What's happened since the late 60s also is that policing and imprisonment has ballooned in the United States. So actually, the violence of police and prisons in the lives of queer and trans people has actually expanded. So you see this sort of drastic and strange shift where you have this elite set of queer and trans organizations, predominantly white-centered, predominantly upper class, people who feel great about the cops, love the idea of getting the criminal punishment system to protect them. And then you have the mass of queer and trans people who are in danger of police targeting, who experience police profiling, whose family members and themselves have experienced violence inside the prison system. And the divide between those agendas, between sort of trying to get hate crimes laws to include us versus actually trying to deal with police violence, is a really sharp contrast, right? And you see from that this kind of move from the sort of the grassroots moment that we can see of this incendiary moment of queer and trans resistance in the 1960s that really continued, right? There's been queer and trans people involved in anti-police and anti-prison work since then, but the sort of visible, well-funded queer and trans work has become one that's like friendly with the police, that's like, oh, let's expand the police powers to protect us. This kind of fantasy about the police as people who can be tools against homophobia and transphobia, when in reality the police are major agents of homophobia and transphobia.